Hey everybody. Welcome. So we're back with another weekly episode of I'll say Genius Music 121. Oh, Genius Indie Talks.
Indie Talks, yay! Woo!
Yes.
Guys, super excited for this episode.
As always.
We have no other than the most beautiful, talented,
soulful, honey,
Britney Jane.
Miss Britney Jane.
That's going to be having a conversation with us today. So we're super excited to be able to talk with her. So we're going to let the people come in the room. We see our guest is in.
Yeah, she came on time.
She on time. We're going to give us a few seconds. First of all, I just want to say thank you too much to my beautiful co-host, for holding down on Monday. Her and Nighthawk J, they did their thing.
Held it down.
Just, talking about all of the entertainment, what was going on, and giving you the new music that has released. Yes. So thank you so much. Lovely.
You don't gotta do what I gotta do.
So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna send a request out to you, Britney, and we're gonna get started.
Yes, we're gonna have a little conversation.
Let's see here. I love this song. Oh man.
Hey girl.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing? You're so beautiful.
Yes, I'm beautiful. I'm good.
It's giving glow. It's giving everything. It's giving happiness.
I love
everything.
Yes. The sun is out, so I'm like, oh, this is so perfect. Like, sun shine down on me.
Yes. Just beam. Oh, I love it.
Oh, you're in Denver, so it's like different time zones. Like the sun is out.
Yes.
2 hours earlier, right?
Yeah. Well, I actually, I ended up flying out to California, so I'm in California right now. So it's like, I'm like, wait, what time is it there in Colorado again? And then I'm getting my times like all mixed up. So
yeah, we're in New York, and it's like dark and gloomy over here.
Yeah.
And cold. Oh my God. So we love it. You came in and you brought the sun with you. So I love it. So guys, thank you. So we're going to continue to let the people come on in the room. We are super excited for another episode of Indie Talks. Once again, we just said, my name is Aasha and
I'm Danielle.
And we have the beautiful, talented, like we said, soulful, just all the above singer-songwriter, Britney Jane. Yes. Woo! So we're super excited to have this conversation. Especially, just hearing your music, definitely looking over your lyrics. I think it's very important because I would love definitely to gear in a lot about the songwriting aspect, because we have a lot of songwriters as well that definitely ask us questions and reach out, but we want to most importantly hear your story. So Britney, please welcome first off. And definitely talk to us, who's Britney Jane, and and
how you get
started.
Yeah.
Well, first off, thank you guys so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this so much. So thank you so much again. So I'm Britney Jane. I'm originally from Virginia, and I moved out to Colorado. Let's see, it'll be 7 years in October. And, I've always loved to do music and loved to sing and everything like that. And it really wasn't until I got to Colorado that, I really started thinking about it more. And so I started singing backup first. And so now I'm just in a place where I'm focused on doing my own music and getting my own voice out there more. And I just love music. I love all types of music. I mean, music just makes me feel so good. I don't know. It just makes me happy. So it makes me so happy. Yeah.
So I know you were saying you're from Virginia, and then you moved to now, and then you moved to Colorado, and you've been there for 7 years. But you said that's when you really started to really be more serious when it came to music. Have you ever thought about maybe moving to like a LA or New York or Atlanta for like, I guess maybe like a broader spectrum for music?
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
is the normal places.
Yeah, it definitely crossed my mind, but I think it was more so I just wasn't in that place where I felt confident enough to even try to like make that type of jump or move. So like coming out to Colorado, it just, I was like, okay, well, there is a music scene, and you know, it's like I think this is like the perfect time for me to start thinking about it, because I had been in a really bad relationship, and I was like, I need to, you know, start loving on myself again and doing things that I love doing. So it's a whole other story, y'all, boy. So
Go to our sister, you're taking out couples and karaoke.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it definitely crossed my mind, and even now, you know, I'm kind of like thinking of, you know, we're thinking about like what's the next spot, you know, and you know, Atlanta, New York, you know, California. So it's just like, you know, now I'm in a much better place with my music, and I have, you know, that confidence, and I'm like, okay, we're about to make one of those moves to one of those music hubs eventually. So
amazing. So with everything that you're doing and you're thinking about the moves and for yourself, for your music, talk about, you know, your biggest inspiration. I know that most importantly, like your family of music, your father loved music, and talk about that in the aspect of, you know, whether or not he was a big influence of you really gearing into music and pursuing it further.
Yeah, so for me, you know, like I like to say I had like old school parents, you know, like my dad was
we all do.
Really?
But
my dad was like up there in age when he had me. I'm the youngest out of 6, so I'm like the last one he got out. So, you know, I just. And with my mom, you know, they just played such great music, you know, Motown, you know, I had a lot of jazz playing in our house, you know, so it's just like, for me, it's like, wow, like this is good. I love this, you know, even now I still listen to more oldies than like, I guess like new age stuff. So it's like growing up, just because I loved it so much, I found myself wanting to sing it even more. So, you know, I was like 14 years old, and I kept bugging my dad about buying me this karaoke machine, because at that age I was like, I love singing, I want to do music. And like, he's like, I'm not gonna buy it for you, he's just gonna sit there and collect dust. And like, I was on that thing night and day, like night and day, doing like Gladys Knight and Aretha Franklin, and just, you know, I just loved it. So that really just, you know, they created that space for me to just listen to all types of music, and it just influenced me to just, you know, continue to try to project that in a way, like within my own music, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, of course. And one thing, how supportive, because, you know, sometimes I even went through this, like when I wanted to, like, I didn't want to sing or anything, but I was like, oh, I want to work in music. I always want. My mom was like, no, go be a doctor. Like, how great is that to have that supportive parent to be like, you know what, we want to definitely support your dreams. So how important was that to you?
So important. Unfortunately, like my dad passed away when I was 19. So he, you know, even though he's with me in spirit, it's like he never really got to see me like perform and like, you know, like sing my own stuff. And my mom, like in the beginning, she was like, be quiet, stop singing. Because, you know, like, take your butt to bed, I don't want to hear all that. And like now it's like completely different, you know. So I think that support is what keeps me going, and I think it's so important, especially coming from your, you know, immediate family. It's like it means the world to me, and I'm just thankful. I'm really so thankful for it. So
yeah, because you have sometimes you have like artists whose family, they may not be so supportive, and they're like, well, you're gonna be a starving artist, you're not gonna make it. And it's just like, but
Mama, I made it.
Exactly.
yeah.
But I mean, that's super dope that you like your parents were very supportive, and you have family that's really supportive. I don't know, earlier you were saying that you were doing background singing. How did you get into that?
Yeah, so this was like August of 2017. I went to a poetry slam, and I told myself, because like I'm like that type of person that won't really like, I'll stay in a corner to myself instead of, because I'm like I'm
That's me.
weird or whatever the case might be. And so I told myself, I was like, okay, if I want to do this singing, you know, like I had no idea what direction to go with it, but I was like, I'm just going to talk to people. You know, you have to network, you know, get yourself out there. And so I went up to a gentleman at the poetry slam that I went to, because he had played like a song on like a keyboard, and I was like, man, I love your voice, you know. And he's like, I have a band, and I was like, are you looking for a background singer? And so I ended up like doing an audition for him, and so I just started with it, and it created this space for me to build my confidence even more. So I think it's so important. It was important for me to have like that safe space and to build that relationship with the band, because you know, he would let me like perform different covered songs, you know, for a show or whatever. So that kind of really like, you know, opened that door for me to be like, oh, you know what, I could do this, not being a background singer. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So first off, you talked about, you know, your loving parents and their support. You talked about, you know, starting in background. What artists inspire you to perform and to really dig into your artistry of your talent so much?
So I have three that are like my
Big
favorite. Three. One, Ella Fitzgerald. I love the softness in her voice, and it's kind of like that feeling of like if your eyes are closed, you can hear the softness and like the laughter, the lightness within her voice. Of course, Nina Simone. I love. It's like the opposite, the deepness in her voice, the emotion that she captures, and that's something that I feel like I'm still working on every day. But just like you just feel it, it's like, whoo, I didn't want to go there, but she made me feel that way. And the third person, of course, would be Adele. I love, and I love how she writes and just how she delivers her music. And so those are my three ladies that I love, that I could listen to night and day. So
those are
good
really
choices.
Good yeah.
Like definitely good choices, of course. And you know, not to pivot, not like they're paying me or anything, but you know, the Audrey Day is coming out. The movie, she's playing Billie Holiday.
Oh yeah.
That's tomorrow. Yes. So you know, you named those. You named some of those names. I was just like, oh, I had thought about Billie Holiday real quick. So
it's amazing too. Yeah.
And like to kind of just to kind of go back, like I know like with you doing background singing, at what point did you realize, all right, it's time for me to fly away, use my wings,
get out the
do
nest
on my own? Yes.
Honestly, it was really like I've always had the thought, but how 2020 went last year, that's what really like it kind of like gave me the confirmation that I needed. So yeah, I was like, you know, it like, why not? Life is too short, and I love singing backup. I love the opportunities that I've received and the doors that have been open, but it's like I have like my own stuff that I want to get out there. And I'm my own artist, and so yeah, 2020, I was like, I'm doing it. Like this is it.
It's like it's either now or never.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, just to piggyback off of Danielle, so of course, obviously 2020, right? You're spreading your wings, you're flying, quarantine is happening, pandemic is happening, still happening. Talk about the things that, you know, with 2020, the pandemic made you realize, like, you know, hey, what can you really be doing different? And has that really affected you anyway, as far as, you know, music wise?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is gratitude. You know, I feel like we all like have those days where we take them for granted. And I know last year it was kind of like this up and down phase for me, because in the beginning I was not focused on music. And I kept myself focused on things that would just help me mentally and make me feel better, because I'm like, I don't want to do music. But then it was like, it switched, and I'm like, okay, like I've been given a voice. You know, as much as I don't like writing, I've written songs, and I'm like, why not? Like, why not get it out there? So it's like I had to take that step back and be like, you know, like, I'm grateful to God that I have this stuff together. You know, I have the right tools, I have the right people around me. Like, it's like, just do it. So it hasn't, in the beginning it was really tough, but throughout, again, it's just like finding that gratitude and that reminder of how things could be so differently in a negative way. And because they're not, it's like, be thankful, you know, accept the small things that are going on right now, and,
yes, ma'am,
and celebrate them. So that's what I did.
Speaking of writing, how do you find yourself like inspired when you're writing a song? So for like example, What If and Blossoms, what is it that like inspired you with those songs?
Love. Whether it's love for myself or just some really terrible relationships that I've had in the past.
Talk about it.
Woo! So yeah, I mean, it's just as simple as that. You know, I feel like we all need those songs to remind us that we can get through anything, and to love ourselves, and just like, it's like that moment of like facing yourself in the mirror and just like looking at every single thing and admiring yourself. And yeah, so I mean, though it's been hard, you know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's like, okay, well, you know, let me listen to Blossom. Maybe that'll give me like that love that I need. And then for What If, it's more of like, you know, you're always going to have that what if for that person that you had to close the door on, but you're so thankful that you did, because you move on from it.
Ain't never going
you
back.
Digress. So, woo. Yeah.
So, oh man, you are funny. I can't.
Lock the door. Don't ever bring it back.
Throw away the whole key and the whole.
Right.
That's it. So just to, like I said, just to piggyback off with the songwriting, what is the hardest? What would you say would be your hardest moment in song when you're songwriting, when you're creating your song and doing your songwriting, and which song would you say is the most treasured piece song? Because, you know, I get it, like every songwriters write a whole slew of songs, but it's always like that one song that just like, oh man, this is forever like inked in my heart.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, songwriting is hard, period, for me. It is, y'all. I mean, I honestly am not a fan of songwriting, but I think it's.
You can never tell. You can tell. I'm just surprised people you said that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It's just like putting my thoughts together, because I feel like I get in my head so much, but it's just like putting the pieces together. It's like having that conversation. If you were having that conversation with that person, what would you want them to know, or what would you say? So that's how I try to think about it. But for the song out of the two, I would say that it's like my baby. I would say is Blossom, just because, you know, I struggle every single day with, you know, that feeling of appreciating myself. And I really, you know, like writing that song, I wanted it to be an anthem, like to myself, but to everyone else, you know, like just to have that reminder of how amazing and how delicate we are, but we're blossoming into something so beautiful. And so that right there, like that song is my baby, because I'm like, every now and then I have to cut it on and be like, oh, you're feeling some type of way about yourself, you need to listen to
play the song. And I love the symbolism behind that, because it's just like, all right, let me get myself out of this like mopey, like dreary mood, and let me just remind myself, like, I love myself. I'm
queen,
good. Exactly.
Crown,
exactly.
Wear it, walk.
Yep.
And,
Exactly.
when you write, so say like as far as like the process of you writing a song, do you hear the melody first, or do you just write something, just like sit in a journal and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. So sometimes I'll come up with like a melody and I'll do like a quick voice memo. What really helped me is I ended up buying an acoustic guitar because I was like, I'm gonna attempt to try to teach myself how to play it.
Yeah.
It was a fail, but you know, it's whatever. And so I was able to play like a little bit on it. So it's just something for me, like I'll connect it to like my iPad and like my GarageBand, and I'll just like play something, and then it's like more of like a freestyle type of thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is the idea I want to go with, or this is how I'm feeling in that moment. And then I do write stuff down. Like I'll just type something out and I'll come back to it later. And that's honestly how it started with like What If, you know, it was like an idea, feeling like some things I was going through, and I was talking to a friend and like he was telling me his situation. I was like, what if, you know? So I mean, it really just depends. It's a little bit of a mixture of all three, really. So at least, yeah.
Okay. So of course we want to get to just the nitty gritty of the fact of just really being in the industry and really being an artist. Talk about, first of all, your team. You know, of the pleasure to speak with your manager, and he's on it, doing it. So how important is having the right people around you? Because you know, sometimes
The wrong people.
some artists got the wrong, incorrect people, or they just feel like these people are really needed and necessary, and not really understand.
Yeah, sorry, you kind of froze at the end.
Sorry, well, a phone call was coming through.
Oh.
So basically, just how important it is to have a good team around you, and your discernment and really picking your team.
Yeah. For me, it's super important. Super important, because it's like, you know, I'm doing this for you know, myself and my family, but I'm also, you know, I want to bring along a team that is also, you know, like we have the same vision, you know, like we're on that same train together type of thing. There's no like, oh, let me be selfish, let me just, you know, do it for me type of thing. It's like we're really building a team. And I think trust is super important, and the fact that, you know, having that openness for communication and just knowing like we're in this together. I know it sounds very like basic, but it's like my team is like, they're amazing. They work hard for me, you know, like there are things where I'm like, I'll be bullheaded on. I'm like, I don't know about that. And then I end up coming back and I'm like, you know what? You were right, you know, but it's like they're able to listen to me, and like, you know, we're just building this together. Because at the end of the day, like we want to build. We don't want to, you know, just do this stuff for fun. Like we want to do it the right way. And it's like, as I'm coming up, I know that behind me I have like the best people, because they're, you know, they're working for me. They believe in me. And I think that's something that's also important, is like, do they really believe in what you do? Because people can be like, oh yeah, that sounds great, and it really is terrible. Yeah, and I see that all the time, and I'm just like, wow, like I don't understand that. You know, like I want people to be real with me, and I have a very solid, real team behind me, and I love them to death. Like I really do. So yeah.
Can I ask really quick? So, speaking of that, having a great team, have there been any negative experiences just not with your team, but just outside of that, like really trying to collab with other artists, producers, or anything of that nature? Have you had any negative experiences that has been a really like learning ground for you?
Definitely with saying yes to doing certain shows as an artist, because, you know, you're at that point where you're like, oh, well, yeah, I'll do this show. I just want to get my name out there. But then they're asking you to basically pay for your tickets. And so that was a learning lesson for me, because it's like I shouldn't have to pay to play. You know what I mean? So, but as far as with other artists, I feel like I haven't had any bad experiences, and I pray to God that this stays that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, nothing that I can think of. I mean, just maybe artists that maybe don't have all their stuff lined up, but you just kind of just go with the flow, and that's that. But I've worked with some amazing artists, so
That's good.
yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a blessing to be able to this far, to be like, yo,
I haven't had anything.
I can't really say anything bad. You know, I had a hiccup here or two, but nothing crazy. That's good, because, you know, when it comes to, and then on top of that, the reason why I ask the question is because it comes back to having a good team that, like you said, you're not just looking for yes people, you looking for real people, you know? So for them to be able to protect you and to understand you and have a vision that you can all be on the same page with and be able to grow with. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, it is.
What are 3 things for this year that you're hoping to accomplish for 2021 that you weren't able to accomplish for last year, 2020?
I love that.
I feel like 2020 should just be like never mentioned again.
Boy, yeah, that was a rough year. We survived though. Woo!
Yeah.
3 things. Definitely putting out more music. You know, I have some stuff that's already in the works that I'm going to be releasing.
Are we getting an EP, a full project? Are we getting something?
Maybe. Maybe, yes. That's the goal. Definitely. And then, you know, doing some music videos. You know,
Okay,
I have some super exciting creative ideas. So now I'm trying to get everything lined up, and you know, I just want people to feel good. I think that's what we need right now. So yeah, I think that's it, really. So that's only 2 things.
I mean, if you only have 2 things, listen, that's 2 more things that you did from last year. So
So I love, obviously, your music, the Blossoms, whatever.
Thank you.
Everything about your sound. Talk about what sets you apart from other artists, or, you know, that's in, you know, we got Tiana Taylor, we got Kalani, her, so many amazing artists that definitely make sure they represent that soulful, meaningful sound. And when it comes into R&B music, what makes you different?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll be honest, I always feel like that's a tough question to answer. You know, for me, I can only be my biggest fan, you know, and I think for me, what sets me apart is just, you know, my realness that I have just as an artist, you know, and everyone has maybe a similar story, but they tell it in a different way. And so I'm just telling, it may be, you know, a love song about a relationship. There are tons of songs out that are like that, but I'm telling it my own way. So I think the simplicity that I give within my music, I think that's what sets me apart. So
I love it.
Yeah.
what advice would you give to artists who are looking to kind of get their foot in? Maybe they, like how you said you started out, like when you went to Poetry Slam, like you weren't trying, like you were shy, you didn't really want to speak to somebody. How would you, like, what advice would you give to somebody who is going through that?
And they really looking to step out.
Yeah, network, reach out, let it be known what it is, what your craft is. If you're a singer, if you're, you know, a hip hop artist, rapper, whatever, let that be known, you know? So go to, I mean, it's kind of hard to go to events right now, but just finding people on social media and reaching out to them and just, you know, saying, hey, like, I'm a new artist, you know, like even asking for, I guess, advice, but just finding out how they got started with things, you know, and just being set and confident in yourself as an artist. Because, as you know, there are tons of people out here that are trying to be discovered, and it's like, if you don't have that confidence, if you feel like what you bring isn't good enough, if you don't believe in yourself enough as an artist,
not gonna
just
get them to
Yeah,
believe.
true.
yeah.
How did you build up your confidence? Like, how were you able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was like, why am I feeling this way? Like, why am I comparing myself to everyone else? Like, my voice is like my own voice, you know? Like, I would have my friends tell me all the time, Brittany, do music or you can sing. And I'm like, no, I can't. I don't have that soulfulness that I want. You know what I mean?
But you do.
And thank you. Yes, I worked up to that, you know, but several years ago I didn't feel like that, you know? So it's just like, for me, it was like I really had to like picture myself performing, you know, and I started doing like karaoke, and I just remember the joy that I felt just singing, and like even just getting on a stage at a karaoke club. I'm like, I love this feeling. Like, why am I not taking this seriously, you know? So I was like, I'm gonna do it, you know, and luckily I had the right people around me that still kept like pouring love into me, no matter how many times I try to like turn my head towards it, you know. So yeah, that's and I got vocal lessons too, also.
All right, look,
Listen, you're working on your craft.
listen,
Yeah.
important. You gotta definitely mold your craft.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you so much for definitely having this conversation with us. You said a lot of important things that, you know, just that was just so real, just so touching. And basically the fact that, first off, let me tell you, you're the first songwriter that I've heard said, I can only speak for me, that I've heard say that you hate songwriting.
Yeah.
And that was the realest thing for me, because it was just like the fact that you can't tell that your songwriting, like, you hate it, you do it. Kudos to you. I tip my hat, my wig, everything off to you. Okay.
I just had to keep it real. I'm like, look, it's not, it takes me a long time to get my thoughts together. So I'm like,
Have you ever thought about like doing, like, I know some people, they'll do like workshops for like songwriting classes. Have you ever thought about maybe doing that? Or
I've thought about it. I've never done a songwriting class before. I feel like that's probably going to be something that I'm going to definitely have to do. That'll be my third thing to do this year. There we go.
All right.
That's right.
Yes, because
get your points.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so difficult, you know, because it's like, I know what I'm trying to say, but is it going to be delivered like that by others, you know? So it's weird.
Kind of fun to sing the songwriting classes.
Yeah.
So the one question I definitely want to ask, that I ask a lot of my artists, you know, maintaining as an artist, you know, whether a writer only or a singer, producer, whatever it is, you know, talk about, you know, the work and the commitment that you have to put in. The biggest thing is sacrifice. What would you say would be one of the biggest sacrifice that you had to make in pursuing your career?
Yeah, I would say investing, you know, money. You gotta put money in it. And, you know, there were times where I'm like, ugh, you know, I probably should not spend that. But I'm going to, because I'm investing within myself as an artist. And I think that's really important. You know, it's a huge sacrifice. It's not a cheap thing, but it's like, I believe that it'll be worth it in the end, you know, and it'll all come back to me some way, some shape or form. So, you know, I do work like a 9-to-5 job. So there have been times where I'll have to take off work so that I can go to the studio, or I'll be at the studio with my work laptop and still trying to like focus.
You gotta do how you gotta do it.
You know, yeah. So it's just like, I know that this won't be my forever, you know, having to have that balance. So
a 9-to-5, funding that dream.
Exactly.
Yeah,
9-to-5 is funding your 5 to 9.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Brittany, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for coming on and having this conversation with us.
So honored.
This was an amazing, dope, just everything above just having this conversation. I really hope that those who have tuned in, thank you for those who have came in late. Sorry for those we didn't get to say hi to or shout out. But I really hope you guys really took something away from this. And Brittany, we would love to speak with you again, and we looking forward to all these new projects.
That's this EP that's gonna come out.
And definitely, and let us know once you put together your songwriting seminars and everything. We want to be right there back to you. So guys, thank you so much for definitely tuning in. So Brittany, and shout out to your management. Oh my God, thank you so much for connecting. We love you guys. You know, once you interview with us, you're always part of the Genius family. Okay. So guys, I don't know if your manager want to put like your social media, like your ad or anything of that nature. If you guys had to take it, please let her know. If you have not downloaded or purchased, streamed it, Blossom, what if, please do so right now.
Yes, Tidal.
Now.
Spotify. My music. Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Definitely support our beautiful independent artists. They're really, I mean, talented. And Brittany, you are talented and we support you.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies, so much. You guys are so beautiful. Thank you so much again for this opportunity. And this was so much fun. Like, I want to do it again.
we got you. This ain't that. No, this ain't that. We'll be back. So thank you so much for coming on. We want you to enjoy that Cali weather.
Yes.
All right, for us.
So jealous.
I know. Send us some sun.
Yes, I will.
So please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one. Such a sweetie.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful smile. She has a beautiful spirit.
Yes.
So soulful. Like I said, I just thought it was just amazing because she was just the first songwriter that we heard. I know, speaking for me, that I've heard that said that she don't like it, but like I said, I just the lyrics, everything that we listen to regarding to her songs, like you can just really hear it. Somebody's trying to send me a request. Okay. Hello, how are you? Hi, you trying to get it? You want to get it? You want to get it real quick? Okay, hold on 1 second. We appreciate you. Thank you. Who is? No. Okay.
Yo, what's up, y'all? How y'all feeling?
Hi,
good. How are you?
Good. I don't know what this is. I just woke up to it, but look, I just want to say, y'all keep doing what y'all doing.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name YBN Drippy. I'm an A&R with Atlantic Records.
Okay. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
For sure.
We appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I was just seeing what do y'all do exactly?
So basically, Genius is a platform that supports independent artists. We talk about entertainment news, we do music education, and we do artist interviews. So we just sat down with the beautiful Britney Jane, who's a singer-songwriter. Right now, she's in Colorado. And we talk about them pursuing their music.
Especially with independent artists too.
Yes.
That's dope for sure. Yeah. Actually, yeah. If you guys know any female artists, we actually are looking for female artists right now, no cap. So yeah, we should definitely collab or
why not? Why not? We got you. You in New York as well?
Yes, I am. Our office is right here in New York, so
yeah, we right here in New York as well. So definitely, we can definitely link. DM us. We'll definitely reach out. We have a lot of good artists that come through this platform. Trust and believe.
Bet. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and get y'all a shout out too. What's up, Rockstar?
Thank you. I appreciate it. We appreciate that. All right. Okay. Have a good one.
Okay, look at that networking.
Look at this networking. All right. Okay. So, my lovely co-host, what is going on with
Okay,
couples and
so
karaoke?
tomorrow at Couples and Karaoke, for those of you who may be new, because we always have new people that join, I'm one of three with Couples and Karaoke. So what we are, it is a dating experience, couples with a K, so KOUPLES in karaoke. So pretty much last year we had a whole dating event. It was a blind dating karaoke where we brought singles on stage who've never met before, and then they sing a beautiful karaoke song, and they can decide if they want to go platinum and mingle, or if they want to be a one-hit wonder and just dead the whole situation. Event was super dope. It was literally
Super
Valentine's Day last year. But because of COVID, we had to adjust. And so now we do live. So Tuesdays, Bianca goes on live with couples with the music behind the love. She talks about why their love is so great and everything, so beautiful. And Fridays, me and Brittany, we go on live and we'll sit with just pretty much like a whole kind of like a party. So we'll sit with dating coaches and just like getting dating advice. Is more geared towards singles. So if you're single, but tomorrow we are actually co-hosting a virtual event, a virtual house party with Clockface, with Boston Wild Black, and it's on Zoom. So if you guys can check out Couples and Karaoke or Clockface with a K. There's a link in there, and then also you just have to sign up. It's on Zoom, it's free. So there's going to be a DJ. Shout out to DJ Mott. There's different rooms, so we're hosting a room. It's going to be super dope. So if you're single and ready to mingle, tomorrow at 7:00,
go to their page. Yes. Okay, go to their link
with the K.
Sign up. It's free, people.
It's free.
They're gonna have a DJ. They're gonna have some mix and mingling.
Exactly. And we're still in the panoramic, so you shouldn't be going off the clubs anyway. So you should be home.
I mean, we don't want to go out in the Panda, so just come, sign up, and you might meet that special someone.
Exactly.
Just get hooked up.
And there's people from all over, so you don't have to necessarily be in New York. You can be in Boston. You can be in Atlanta. You can be in Colorado. So
you never know.
If you want to try to find your love,
tune in. So, guys, once again, thank you so much, Danielle, for that.
No problem.
Guys, you already know where to find them, right? So, listen, guys, we appreciate you so much for tuning in tonight. It was an amazing show. We always love our conversations that we have. We thank God for the networking that has happened. We'll see, what happens. What's up? I don't know.
What's up?
Could have been random, but we don't know. But we thank you so much for tuning in with us. We appreciate the love and support. Once again, always on Mondays, Music Mondays, and then there's once again our indie talks.
Yep.
So we,
by the way.
Oh yes, we're twinning our pods.
Yes, no vibes.
So guys, you already know what it is. It's nothing but real music, real style, and real people. So period, exactly. So you already know what it is. Until next time.
Peace. I feel like we need like exit music.
I know, right?
Bye, guys.
Look at me.
Bye, guys.